All right, good afternoon. This is our first 4 p.m. briefing dealing with the RNC. And I have with me from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, Colonel Ed Duncan, and from the Tampa Fire Rescue is Chief Tom Forward. And I'm Chief Jane Castor of the Tampa Police Department. We started off the day with a march, the March on RNC, from Perry Harvey Park that went down to the public viewing area. It was a very successful march. They had anticipated a lot more people than they had on the march. They anticipated about 5,000. We worked very, very closely with this group. Originally, the numbers would have been too big for our parade route. This route for them, and they were able to make speeches at Perry Harvey Park and then march down into the public viewing area. And it was very successful and without incident. Around 3 o'clock this afternoon, there was another unplanned march from Romneyville, which I think you guys know is the series of tents that have been set up down there on Tampa Street by I-275. And individuals splintered off from that and have been basically running through the downtown area, and we're monitoring them right now just to ensure that that everyone is safe and that there's no damage in the downtown area. But so far, everything has been very, very successful. We did have one arrest earlier. There were a group of individuals that were, again, running through the downtown area. Police were monitoring them. There was a group of probably about 25, 30 individuals, and many of them put on their masks. They were told repeatedly by the officers that that was a violation of the event ordinance, that they weren't allowed to wear those masks in the event zone. Everyone took those masks off with the exception of one individual. The officers again gave him plenty of warning and leeway to remove that mask. He refused, and he was placed under arrest. When the officers tried to arrest him, he did not cooperate, stiffened up, tried to avoid being handcuffed. As a result, he was charged with a violation of the event ordinance and resist without violence. That individual gave an address here locally in Tampa. He identified himself as white male Dominic De La Rosa, and his date of birth is 11/13 of 91. And we, as the local media knows, we have gone out of our way to communicate with everyone what is and isn't allowed in the event zone. So he certainly should have been aware, and if he wasn't prior to, he was given plenty of warnings before being placed under arrest. All right, does anybody have any specific questions about issues or incidents? There were, as I said, they had, in our dealings with the organizers, they had hoped to have about 5,000. I would say that if they reached 500, that probably would have been an exaggeration. I would say somewhere around 300 individuals were there. They estimated 500, but I would say it was closer to 300.
Is this kind of a nice little warm-up rehearsal for y'all?
We hope this is it, but I doubt that's going to be the case. Yeah, I guess it would be. And we got a lot of praise from individuals within the march. You know, the officers, the attitudes of the officers, the helpfulness. So it was very good. The one issue, because this parade route was different than the actual parade route down by the public viewing, we took everyone. They had passed the watering station down. We actually moved one of the watering stations to Pierce and Morgan for them, and then when they got down to the public viewing, we made an announcement of where the water was at, and a lot of people, I don't think, heard, so we actually delivered water into the public viewing area for everyone. All right.
Any indication tomorrow is going to bring more protesters? It's going to be a busier day?
You know, I don't know what the indications are now. We're prepared. We were assured by today's organizer that they were going to have about 5,000 individuals, so we'll see. You know, the weather obviously could have been a factor today in the numbers, but we'll see what the next day brings. Again, our mission remains the same, and that is to work with everyone that wants to demonstrate so that they can express themselves and, in whatever way, shape, or form they see necessary, as long as they don't cross the line into criminal behavior, and ensure that everyone has a very safe time and, again, is able to express themselves and exercise their First Amendment rights.
Is that a concern, those splinter groups breaking off, the ones wearing masks or trying to wear masks for police as
Yeah.
days continue?
Well, it's a concern, but it's not a surprise. That was something that we wholly expected. As I have said all along, the vast majority of individuals coming here to demonstrate will do so peacefully. But there's going to be a small group, very small group, that have come here bent on disruption and destruction, and some individuals that came here for the sole purpose of being arrested. So we'll deal with that.
Were there any complaints? We heard from a couple of people who said they were ran with police bicycles. Have you heard that?
Yes, I was actually down at in the area of Scott and Morgan where Mr. De La Rosa was arrested, and an individual came up to me and said that an officer purposely struck him with his bicycle. There's no indication. Now, obviously, there was a lot of energy down in that area, so if there was some kind of inadvertent contact, we took all of that complainant's information, and we'll look into that. The particular officer, he couldn't remember the specific name, so we're going through rosters to find out exactly what did occur, but obviously, there's been no officers that have, struck anyone. That's it?
One more question to you. I know you had, I'm from Charlotte, and you had Chief Monroe here today. Is there anything you can tell Charlotte area law enforcement for what they can kind of expect, maybe based on what you all saw today?
Yeah, Chief Monroe and I have talked throughout this planning process, and I think it was beneficial for him to be able to come down and see, and some of his personnel as well, to come down and see exactly how we function down here with the RNC. And we will continue to communicate all the way through the DNC, but it's been a great collaboration.
Was the guy arrested our order, or did he go to jail?
No, he would have gone to jail for the resist portion of it. And everyone goes through the booking process. He could have, if it was just the event zone ordinance, he could have been ROR'd from booking.
Is there different penalties if you're arrested in the zone compared to arrested?
No, it's an ordinance, a city ordinance, and the penalties are attached to that.
Has anyone else been arrested for anything else? Have you found any suspicious items in any cars or anything like that?
No, there have been a lot of suspicious items that have been found, but there have been no arrests with those items. But again, that is something that was expected. With an event of this magnitude, those types of calls are quite frequent.
So you've had 2 arrests so far, today and the guy yesterday?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Suspicious items found today?
No, there was a call out today, but I'm not sure what that resulted in. It was something that was left behind in a rental vehicle.
Obviously, things went pretty smoothly. Was there anything you were surprised about that you'd like to tell Charlotte folks about? Anything that you witnessed today that you kind of saw?
I appreciate your testimonial, but the day's not over yet.
the big march.
Right. All's gone well. No, that Charlotte, we basically are planning along the same lines. So it's my understanding that Charlotte's plan mirrors that of Tampa's. And so I think Charlotte will be very, very successful when they host the DNC. All right. Thank you, guys.